At 9 years old, it was most disturbing because I was asleep. My mother awakened me and she told me to get up. She says, Doris, get up so I can get you dressed. The white folks are killing the colored folks.
The Race Massacre was something that was swept under the rug for many years. No one talked about it.
Tulsa's daily white newspapers, the Tulsa World and the Tulsa Tribune, refused to write anything about the massacre for more than 50 years. In fact, they would go to extreme lengths not to mention it. The event that really starts to open the riot to public discussion actually happens 100 miles away in Oklahoma City. Don Ross, who is African-American from Tulsa, a journalist, went to the Republican governor and the Republican state legislature and convinced them to create a special commission on the 75th anniversary of what had happened in Tulsa in 1921.
When you think of the time that Oklahoma passed Senate Bill 1, the first bill that passed after state, Senate Bill 1, completely segregated the state. When you look at the ordinance of 1915 in Tulsa,
part of the work of that commission was done by a local historian named Eddie Faye Gates. And Eddie Faye interviewed all the living survivors that she could find at the time. This was between 1997 and 2001, and it's compelling stuff.
Mr. Booker, we've been taking testimony today of actual eyewitnesses to the Tulsa race riot. I'm a historian, I've studied this, I know a lot about it from the written point of view, but nothing takes the place of oral history, those who've heard it, smelled it, felt it, lived it.
The reason that we really understand the history of the massacre has to do with the fact that certain elderly African-American massacre survivors decided to talk about it. They went on record with what they saw and what they witnessed. That's really why we know how the massacre unfolded as it did.
So just tell us what it was like to be 9 years old and caught in a race riot.
At 9 years old, it was most disturbing because I was asleep. My mother awakened me and she told me to get up. She says, Doris, get up so I can get you dressed. The white folks are killing the colored folks.
Bullets were singing around. Telephone poles were burning and falling, and my poor sister, who was 2 years younger than I am, Kenny, is the world on fire? So I don't think so, but we're in deep trouble.
We got to the convention hall. They searched us before they would let us go in. And my mother had picked up my oldest brother's service revolver before we left home and had it in a little satchel. And they wanted to see it, and she said, I don't have anything in here but some important papers. So one of them said, well, old dogs have new tricks like young ones. And they searched and took the pistol.
If we want to understand the Black experience of the Race Massacre, we have to start and end with how Black survivors narrated the terror of what occurred.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Davis. We need you. You are a treasure.
Thank you.
And we hope your words of wisdom will help Tulsa become a better place.
God bless you too. You're doing a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
It's not just a story of victimization, it's also a story of resistance. It's also a story of courage and resilience, and that can't be forgotten.
My grandfather, he was a very proud college-educated shoemaker who did everything he was, quote-unquote, supposed to do. He got his education. He worked hard. He started the businesses. And still, that wasn't enough. And so in this day and time, my question is, when is it enough? When are we enough as a people? They did everything that they could do. They wanted to be successful. These were proud, upstanding members of our community who simply wanted a piece of their American dream and truly received a nightmare.
At the end of this experience, no white person was convicted of an offense related to killing people or destroying the property in the Greenwood district. None. And that is not surprising. I mean, really, when you think about the context, it's not surprising at all.